With 2 weeks to go until the first presidential debate between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris, there have been disagreements over the programme format. Democrats want both candidates' microphones to be live throughout the full broadcast on ABC on September the 10th. Mr Trump has said it doesn't matter to him either way, but the Republican campaign are reported to want him to be muted unless it's his turn to speak. When President Biden was the Democratic candidate, both sides had agreed to the muting of microphones. Let's speak to CBS correspondent Jared Hill, who joins us from New York. Jared, what are both sides saying then about this format?
Yeah, so, Martine, on one hand here, you have the Harris campaign saying that they believe that this is now a settled matter, because yesterday we did see former President Trump coming out and saying that while there were these agreed upon set of rules, he doesn't really care either way if the mics are muted, and actually he says he would prefer for them to be unmuted. The Harris campaign is trying to play this in a way, saying, quote, Trump's handlers prefer the muted microphone because they don't think their candidate can act presidential for 90 minutes on his own. This is what they're saying there. The question is going to be whether this actually does end up happening. But even outside of the issue with the microphones, there is this question of whether the debate will actually happen, because former President Trump yesterday, for the second time, has said that he doesn't agree with the venue for this debate, in particular the network that would be hosting this one, saying that it's not friendly to him or to other conservatives, saying that he's considering pulling out of the debate. The question is going to be if he actually does. And so we have, again, about 2 or so weeks to see if it actually ends up happening, hot mics or otherwise.
What preference, if any, do the American public have as to whether microphones are muted?
Yeah, and so again, this was something that was agreed upon when you had former President Trump and President Biden giving their first and only debate so far. At the time, it was believed that this could get away from some of the sort of onstage bickering that we saw during one of their debates back in the 2020 election. But that whole thing got overshadowed by the performance of President Biden in the debate. So there are some questions around whether Americans particularly care either way about whether the microphones are muted or not. We've seen comments and discourse in both directions. And so it seems as though this is something that the American people feel, a myriad of ways about.
Jared, good to talk to you. Thank you very much.
Well.
Jared Hill from CBS in New York.